Number 19 really isn't that hard of a problem, but I'll bet a lot of you guys looked at it and didn't even get started because you just couldn't figure out what the directions were asking. I think once I talk you through that, you're going to go, oh, that's weird, but okay, I get it, and hopefully have some more luck with the next few problems. So they're asking you here in this batch of 4 to calculate a Riemann sum, and they're using this weird notation right here, a Riemann sum R, and then in parentheses they're saying F, and then capital P, and then capital C, for the given function, partition, and choice of sample points. Function, partition, choice of sample points. So what's going on here? There's your function. Here's the partition, and here's the choice of sample points. Let me explain that. Okay, this overall interval here, guys, starts at 1. This right here would be your A value, and it ends at 2. This would be your B value. But what they've done is they've cut this region up into 3 subintervals. This value right here, 1.2, would be x sub 1. Right here, 1.5 would be x sub 2. And remember, b is always x sub n, so that would be x3. And a could also have been called x naught. So 3 subintervals because they gave you 1, 2, 3, 4 x values there. Notice they're irregular. The width of those intervals are all different. Now, here's the other weird thing. Normally on a problem like this, they would tell you if they wanted left endpoint rectangles or right endpoint rectangles or midpoint rectangles. Here they just said, nah, we're doing something random, and I wonder if you guys noticed this. The number of numbers in set C is 1 less than the number of numbers in set P. 1.1, guys, is the value in this subinterval right here. And now it just so happens to be the midpoint, but it won't always be the case. 1.4 is going to be where we're going to evaluate the height of the second rectangle, and 1.9 is where we're going to do the height of the third rectangle. So here's what's going on here, guys. They really want us to come up with a Riemann sum right here with 3, so let's get to it here. The first rectangle, guys, starts at 1 and ends at 1.2. So if you're comfortable looking at that and just saying the width of that rectangle is 0.2, yeah, go ahead and do that. If you wanted to slow it down, you could say B minus A, but I think everybody can look at that and figure that out. So 0.2 is the width of the first rectangle. The height of the first rectangle gets evaluated at this random value that they gave you here. So that is going to be f of 1.1. Okay, and that right there, guys, is the base times the height of the first rectangle. We're going to add to that now the base of the second rectangle. It goes from 1.2 to 1.5, so that's 0.3. Let me leave those parentheses off. And the height of that second rectangle gets evaluated right here, f of 1.4. Got it. And the third and final rectangle goes from 1.5 to 2, so it's got a base of 0.5, and its height gets evaluated right here, f of 1.9. Now, if this function were anything more complicated than it is, I would define that function in my calculator and then just type this exact expression in. But since f of x is just x, this gets kind of simple. This is 0.2 here multiplied by f of 1.1, we'll just put a 1.1 in there, is 1.1, plus 0.3 times f of 1.4 is 1.4. And then we've got our third one, 0.5 times f of 1.9 is just 1.9. So let's see how much of this I can do in my head. 2 times 1.1 would be 2.2, so that's going to be a 0.22. Gotcha. 3 times 14 is 42, so this would be a 0.42. Gotcha. And lastly, half of 1.9 is a 0.95. So where are we here, guys? That is a 0.64, and a 0.95 is going to be a 1.59, if I'm not mistaken, and that is the answer they were looking for problem number 19. So it's a weird problem there, guys. They're really just asking for something in a weird way. So the notation is what's really strange about that. But hopefully now that you've looked at it, you said, oh, okay, that's what's going on. I'm going to leave the part out here where you draw the graph. I think now that we've explained it, you guys hopefully can figure that part out on your own. But it's really this answer here that I'm most concerned about. So that's number 19.